couple years ago, I wanted to avail of a credit card. A credit card with cashback for all purchases made was being advertised at my place of work. I had been watching a lot of YouTube videos at the time about how you could take advantage of credit cards with this feature. You just have to be smart and responsible about it. As a young adult, I was confident that I could take advantage of this. However, I decided to ask my parents for advice first. My parents told me that taking a credit card would be a mistake. They told stories about how frivolous spending was encouraged by credit cards. They reminded me that banks have very smart people to make sure that they make money from the credit cards. This upset me at the time, but ultimately, I decided to heed their advice. In hindsight, the credit card wasn't even a good deal. The benefits of the percentage cashback were negated by a yearly fee. The fee was so high that you needed to use the card for every transaction just to break even. Furthermore, a lot of businesses in the Philippines offer a quote-unquote cash discount, which is really just a fee for using a credit card. Considering how quickly cash in my wallet just vanishes, having a credit card would have destroyed my financial future. Yet, I couldn't see any of these arguments at the time. I was too enthralled with the idea of proving that I could do something that others couldn't. I thought I was smarter than I actually was. Confidence and skill have a funny relationship. There's a tendency for people who have just started learning a skill to have an unbelievably high confidence in their ability. If you've been on YouTube for any significant amount of time, you'll know that this is called the Dunning-Kruger effect. My favorite is a TED Ed video on the subject. The proposed reason for this effect is that unskilled people don't have the necessary skills to realize how unskilled they are. It's similar to how being zoomed too far into a photograph makes it hard to see the bigger picture. The kicker is that even though I know of this phenomenon, I still fall for the same trap all the time. I remember when I first started to value socialization, I was adamant that acting differently around different people was wrong. Of course, as I grew older and wiser, I realized that conversations aren't just all about me. Conversations are also about the other person. Acting differently around others is just showing the part of you that can best relate to the person you're speaking with. I remember investing in the stock market, thinking that I could easily beat the market. Fast forward a few months later, and I've resigned myself to playing it safe and investing with the market. Too much pride and confidence continues to turn into costly arrogance, and yet I always find myself there, again and again. As a young adult, I tend to have too much faith in my own abilities. While confidence is great, it always needs to be tempered by wisdom. Perhaps that's why I decided to begrudgingly take my parents' advice. They've had the wisdom from the longer years they've lived. Though they may not always be correct, a lot of their opinions are informed by years of experience. Perhaps taking time to pause before making decisions is just another aspect of wisdom. As I grow older, I hope it becomes easier and easier to remember to be humble. So before I make claims about how advertising doesn't affect me, or how I'm immune to the effects of social media, I hope I can remember that I'm not as smart as I think.